All right, then here we go. Don't flash. I can't even start. What's up, profitable stylist? I can't even. Uh, Pit Viper and I this week are going to talk about what it's like to work from home and
These
how
things are
it's
not,
like to. Are
these
those?
are they're not as comfortable as they look cool, you
Do
know?
they even work? Can you even see through those things? Do they
Oh, you
even?
can see fine. But when I go snow skiing, the look of the whatever you call this is similar. You know, got the reflective look, big, covers a lot. But these things they're kind of loose on the face, and they are original pit vipers, but they're just kind of flimsy. They don't stay as good as my these $26 sunglasses I
Do
get off of Amazon.
you remember the 3D glasses? One lens was red, one lens was blue. You never
No, I
wore
don't.
those? You don't remember those?
Don't do hair at home. This is something I've been passionate about for a very long time. When I became a stylist, um, I don't know. I got this pet peeve because people would say, "Will you cut my hair? Will you cut my hair?" And we were going to a pretty popular church in the area. You know, it wasn't the Catholic church, it wasn't the Pentecost. It was one of those like churches that people consider a little wilder and crazy, or a little holy roll, or a little fun. The praise and worship has like electric guitars and drums, and so it was a young. We were in our 20s, and I was having that first kid, second kid, somewhere 2, 3 kids in, real involved with the church, and everybody would say, "Bring your scissors for the Sunday after church potluck or whatever." And I thought, I don't know why it just hit me so wrong. I got so offended because immediately I realized that everybody else has jobs also, and they're not bringing their tools or doing their jobs for me, on me, with me, to me, whatever it was. I didn't have nurses there making sure that my health was okay, taking my blood pressure. The doctors weren't giving me exams. The dentist wasn't checking my teeth at the family party. I would get so irritated that the ladies who cleaned houses weren't coming over and cleaning my house that day. But I'm supposed to cut their freaking hair and color their hair on Christmas, on Thanksgiving, on any time we get together. It would make me so mad that I had to like control myself when they'd say, "Oh, bring your scissors and we could cut all the kids' hair." I can't even do or say how I feel right now because then this video won't air.
But Bernard, when you come over and bring your shears, I'll make you this dish. We'll get you this dinner. We'll get to see each other.
Yeah, that'd be so sweet. So the thing that kind of sparked this was my business partner was reading some of the comments on the hairstylist education forum on Facebook, and he said, "Oh man, it just is crazy that some of the stylists are saying, people, the family's already asking if I'm going to bring my scissors,
Oh
or if I'm
yeah.
going to bring my shears to Thanksgiving." I said, "Oh, more than that. How about every time you visit people, they want you to
Oh
bring
yeah.
your tools? Just bring your little doctor's bag, your little purse of scissors and clippers, and cut everybody's hair." And early on, let me tell you what I ended up doing. I got a couple of good stories about this, but early on, I had a bunch of kids, and so we had friends with a bunch of kids too. And we were all broke in the beginning. I get it. So I just remember this one family had 5 children when I had 3, and Robert knew neither their names, and they said, "Would you mind coming cutting the kids' hair when y'all come over Sunday?" And mine and my husband's also. So immediately I thought, God, that's 7 haircuts to start with, and one or two of those ladies in the house are going to want some kind of highlights or color. And so I thought, first of all, I like I like barbecue, and I like relaxing and sitting around and talking. And there will be none of that. I'll be working at least 2 or 3 hours straight, half the day of this fun time. And so I thought, let's let's make this a trade. So I said, you know what? I think it'll be fine, but I think it's a little unfair that I'm going to work half the day. And she said, well, I tell you what, why don't we buy all the food and do all the cooking for our family and yours? And I thought, now that is a deal for a poor broke young family. I said, you know what? Once a month, that's a good idea. I mean, once a month when we come over to do this, you guys buy all the food, do all the cooking. All my kids and my wife and I, we eat for free, and I'll do the 7 haircuts. And so I'd even throw a couple of my own kids in the mix then, like we cutting hair. Come here, kids. Let's get your hair cut while we're here too. While we're putting hair all over their kitchen floor or wherever we're doing this. I'm not sweeping, cleaning up on this day. But for me, it was always like, there's no shampoo bowl. There's no hydraulic chair. It's not easier. Oh, it'll be so much easier. We'll do it at home. Easier for you, not easier for the worker. It's easier for the client because they don't have to travel. I made a mistake one time with telling my wife that eating at home was just as easy as eating out. And she said, for who? Because I didn't think about all the work she goes through to make the food. I just thought, either way, in the restaurant, I got to sit and wait at this table and order it. And at home, I don't even have to order. It just happens and it comes and it's just there. And I didn't even have to order. And it tastes so much better because she's a great cook. So I said something like, why do we eat out? Everything is so much better at home. The food, the weight, the taste. And she goes, because I don't have to cook it or clean up. I was like, God, how did I not see that? Because I don't cook. So
yeah, right.
But that's how I feel about doing hair. Like at work, I mean, you mean just the normal things like the mirror is helpful. There's generally not a mirror in the right place in somebody's home. Definitely not a shampoo bowl, and definitely not a hydraulic chair. So just those few benefits. And most of the time you forgot to bring a cutting cape home. So now you're wrapping a towel around their neck, which the hair sticks to. It's not.
I use a bed sheet.
Oh, that is better. And you're not having to wash it. So those are just a couple of the early stages. Tell me what
you forgot the most important. The most important. Forget about the cape, the shampoo bowl. Forget about the mirrors. Forget about everything. Freaking lights.
True. We're always trying to do it by a window or the right set of windows or maybe outside where the light is more important. I'm in southern Louisiana. It's rarely a good time of year to cut hair outside because it's sweaty or it's humid and sticky on their neck, so the hair's sticking to them. But sometimes they want you to cut outside because they don't want to sleep. They don't want that mess in their house. Oh, yeah. Well, then bring that mess to the salon and pay full price because they want a deal, they want it free, and they want it convenient. But then they don't want to have to clean up. So can we do it out on the back porch? Oh, yeah. I don't mind sweating while I'm working on your sweaty head and neck. And, I mean, the time I got good at this was I went on a couple of mission trips with the church, and I cut some people's hair in Mexico outside, and the sweat. You try to clip her hair. Normally when you clip her, like line somebody up or line somebody up here, the hair will fall. It doesn't even move. It just sticks. And you're like,
you're sitting there.
And all it does is smear down the side of the face. And you keep trying to push, smearing down the neck. It's got to be so uncomfortable for the client because when you bend your neck, you're squeezing hairs in between the creases. It's just so uncomfortable that, yeah, lighting, you're right. Nobody can have good lighting.
Carmelina and I keep a clean house. We work a lot. We're not home that often. And when we are, we just kind of sit together in the one room and that's pretty much it. We don't really have visitors come over. So, the house is clean. We dust every week. She's very particular about cleaning too. So every Sunday she wakes up and she goes, all right, I got to get to work. So the once a month or once every 3 months when somebody does actually come over, I'm always joking with her. I'm like, oh, your mama's coming over. Should we start washing the walls? Because there's nothing else to She's like, I got to clean. My mom's coming. I'm like, what to clean what? So now when my friends come over and they're, same thing. Hey, can you cut my hair real quick, bro? I'm like, all right, come on, let's do this. They're like, hey, do you want to do it outside on the porch? Same thing. Let's do it in the backyard. Then you don't have to sweep afterwards. Okay, well, then you're a hot, sweaty mess. It's like, oh, I'm just going to go rinse off real quick. I'm like, okay, except they're guys. So to them, rinsing off is not getting in the shower like a normal human being. It's just dipping their head over the tub and getting the handheld and just doing one of these, right? Now they leave, and here's Carmelina with the gloves, putting on the gloves, putting on the whole combat gear. She's pulling her hair back. I'm like, woman, what are you doing? She goes, there is hair all over the tub. There's hair all over the bathroom. There is hair. There's hair. We're being attacked by hair. And I'm like, okay, let me go see. What are you, like, how much hair? Like, what are you talking about? I just cut it all off.
Haircut, and they rinse.
All those good little clippings.
But they don't wash your tub out.
They don't. Well, they don't think about it, right? So they're rinsing their hair. All the hair comes off their head. They shake their hair out, and then they walk away, and they don't think about all the little clippings is left over. You know.
Don't think about it. You're being nice because maybe your friends watch this video. I'm saying they're rude, and they should rinse. They should be thinking about it.
I'm just saying something nice because I can't cuss on here. I'm not supposed to cuss on here. I will have words. Let me tell you, I would have words.
Yeah. So let's talk about, before I get into another story I wanted to tell, why do so many hairdressers do hair at home? I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. I'm going to guess why in a few instances.
Oh, it's our passion. It's our lifestyle. It's what we were born to do.
Most of us do love our job, but most of us do love our job, and I think
we do love our jobs. I'm not saying we don't love our jobs, but see, our jobs are not. This industry is not a career industry. It's a lifestyle industry. Is the only thing I can make heads or tails out of it. It's to truly be a hairdresser or to be a stylist, however you want to refer to yourself as, to be a barber. That is just it becomes your entire essence. It never turns off. There is no, I'm going to work, I'm going home, I leave my work you always bring your work home with you, because it doesn't matter where you go, what you do. You could be sitting watching the TV, you could be out at the bar having a drink, you could be at the restaurant having dinner. Anybody that walks by, you're going to look and you're going to reevaluate, you're going to get inspired. I mean,
judge, evaluate, get inspired. You're right.
I'm driving down the highway and I see a construction site, and the way they had the orange, like the orange and the yellow construction things to designate like this is a danger zone.
Right.
It's just goofy as hell. I'm driving down the highway, I love watching when they're putting up buildings. It's fascinating to me how they could do that.
Right.
Just coincidentally, the way they were dumping the dirt and how it was like around the orange signs and stuff. I'm like, wow, that would be a really cool highlighting combination if I should try that on a client,
The dirt is giving you highlight ideas.
Like the shades of brown and gray, and I'm like, and the way the orange and the white was all combining together. I'm like, I can make like a chocolate brown caramel. Like you can't turn this off. It's just who you are. You're getting inspired by like all kinds of insane
and that's
moments.
What people see. They see how much we love our job, how passionate we are, how artistic it is. We see I don't see that far into it. That's incredible, actually. Right. So, like these two piles of dirt behind me, the sandy pile and the pile of topsoil, because it's a real dark, earthy color.
Hey, see, there you go.
Right. I get it. And that is impressive. And I think that's what happens is we love, so many of us are, and I have to say, girls in a lot of cases will say in their life, because I've never said this, I have wanted to be a hairdresser all my life. I didn't as a kid, but I'll hear them say, ever since I was a little girl, styling my Barbie dolls, cutting my Barbie dolls, I've always wanted to do hair. And so they do love it all the time. And their family knows that they always wanted to. Then they know they went to hair school. Then they use them as models to practice for free to get good at it. Then they can never get away from doing the free. That's the start of the problem. You start doing free in school, it's hard to walk away from it, and people keep wanting that. Even if they say, I'll pay you. My philosophy is it breaks the professionalism. And so if you're going to do hair at home, I don't think you should charge any less than you do in a salon. And a lot of people will discount it. And I think, you know what? If you're going to do hair in somebody's home, if anything, maybe you should be charging more for
So
the
that was
travel
gonna be my take. I charge extra to do hair at home, not to.
fee, convenience fee for them, but inconvenient for me. I mean, missing stuff, trying to remember to bring all the tools, the extra time going there and back and putting my tools back up and having to clean them. I mean, I really think it should be more expensive, but most hairdressers will do it less because you tell me why they do it less. You know why they do it less? What's your opinion?
Yeah, they think they're doing it less because for two stupid reasons. One is they think they're keeping the full amount. So
Yep.
that's like a bonus for them from the commission that they would have gotten from the
Right.
shop. And then the
Right.
other reason is, oh, I'm doing them a favor. I'm doing it at their house. So, I'm not doing the full service. Well, in actuality, you're doing double services. You're not even doing, half the service that you think you're
I
doing.
hope this. I hope that people realize we're not making fun of them and we're just trying to help. Like, be more professional, have the backbone to say no or charge if you're going to do it. The This was
Oh,
something that
no.
was real. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, no, we're not making fun because look, think about it this way. Uh, the one girl who I do her hair at her house, literally, I have her bring her ring light and set it up because I
Yeah,
can't see a bloody thing.
modern battery operated lighting has helped a lot. Like,
Has helped a lot.
I've got what, three, four, five lights on me right now, and two of them I can just take with me
Yeah.
with batteries and
And then
make it way easier.
Carmelina's grandparents, they're old. They can't really walk anymore. You can't really take them anywhere anymore, right? They're just they're 94.
And what if you wouldn't have married? What would they do? Are they going to bring a traveling hairdresser? Because
I, I
I
don't know
still
what
say,
they would have done.
well,
They would have a mullet like you. I don't know what they would have had. I don't know what would have happened to them. But it's a production. Her grandma's too short. She don't fit in a chair. All they have is a kitchen chair that's got like a 7-foot back on it. So I'm trying to like reach over to reach her. Carmelina's got to hold the bowl because there's no tray to work off of. There's no countertop. You can't go near the kitchen table because that's where the food goes on. They're Italians. There's always food on the table. You can't do it on the furniture because God forbid you stain the furniture. That gets messed up too. I'm over exaggerating. They're not, that particular about stuff, but I'm just saying some clients are like that. So it's a whole production and it's back-breaking work. It's not fun anymore. It's labor.
and I don't know if you have helped people when you do color or foils. Now, we've done it all wrong. That's why we can have these strong opinions because we've done these stupid wrong things too. But
And I still do them.
yeah.
What do you think is going to happen in 2 days on Thanksgiving? Why do you think we're doing the live today on Tuesday? I got to go bust my butt on Thursday morning.
Not me. Not me. I cut the family's hair at home, and that's about it. And I didn't even like doing that. I cut my little boy's hair because it is more convenient for me because I brought a set of tools home just to work on him since I'm not in the shop anymore. But even my own family. Now, listen, I'm insanely fair, which is a weird thing to say because it always drove me crazy that people would put their family second or third. Like mom calls, needs a haircut, and you say, "Come on in tomorrow at 10, mom," and then the receptionist says, "Well, we got this lady that one of your good clients wants to get in tomorrow," and you bump your mom because you want to get the paying client. And
That's me.
I
That's
don't
me.
do that. I've never done that. I say, you know what? My book is my book, and I don't care if they're paying or free. I'm going to do them either way. I'm going to do them the same. Something's on my screen, something new. That's weird. I didn't know what that was. So some updates happened last night. I got all kind of looking at all kind of new stuff. But yeah, I always said my book is my book. I don't really even want to know if somebody's paying or free. And it was weird because I went through a time where a lot of my clients schooled me on who's supposed to get tipped or not. And there's a stupid old rule that you don't tip the owner of a business
Oh,
that some people do. Now, a good percentage or portion of my clients tipped and tipped very well to make up for the ones that didn't. But I always thought of a tip as extra money anyway. So I'm not going to judge anybody if they don't tip. I was always very thankful if somebody did, but I also didn't judge people if they didn't pay. That was my decision. If I was going to trade with some people because some people gave me certain services. One guy used to, I didn't know, I had never owned a lawnmower. I always had a guy who cut my grass. I did his hair for free. He had a lawn crew. He didn't actually cut my grass. His crew did. So it was actually a hair replacement. He got free hair put on his head, and I bought the hair systems and did the service, and then passed them on to my employees at the time. And he never paid for hair, and I never paid for grass cutting in the 3 different houses that I've lived in through the time I've known him. Till this day, he still cuts my grass with his crew. And so I did have some trades, but the deal was, I'm not coming to your house. It's always going to be in the salon. My own wife, I said, I don't mind cutting or coloring your hair. Just make an appointment. What do you have to make an appointment? Well, I'm really busy. I don't really want to come in before or after hours on my days off. They're my days off and my time's off. I will do it at any time. You can schedule any time that it's open as far advance as you want. So sometimes she'd get mad at me about that. Like, you don't have an opening, but you have first access to the book. You could like book every once a month on your favorite day and time for 5 years in advance if you want to. You can have whatever day you want. You have access to the schedule even when we're off. But I don't want to hate my time. I don't want to like dread my time off by doing anybody's hair, family time or anything, because it's still a job to me, and I have hobbies and I have fun time, and my job was not my hobby or my fun time. I have fun at work because I have fun at almost anything and everything I do, because I like to try to be a happy person, move forward and enjoy whatever I'm doing. But I wanted to be able to do more than just work. So I would treat people the same, whether they're paying or not, tipping or not, but try to encourage them to be at the salon during the work. And I would come in at 6 a.m. I've come in at 5 a.m. My weird quirk was I didn't matter how early I had to come in. I'd come in earlier and earlier. I came in at 5 a.m. for a client twice, but I don't like to stay later, although I did. I'd prefer to go earlier and earlier. But that was just some of the weird quirks in my life. Just do them in any order they schedule, whether they pay or not. Try to get a trade out of it if you can. Sometimes it's marketing or advertising, and that's the reason it was free. But I would treat them the exact same because I expected them to pay at some point or treat me fair in the trade. What about you?
I'm all for bartering. I still love trading. There's a bakery that I trade with for cookies. I'll do her hair, and I'll get like pies and cookies out of it, and
That's good.
I am all for desserts, man. I have a sweet tooth. I love,
me too.
The pralines and everything, all that good stuff. Sweet tea. I'm all for it. So I'm all for doing that. I tried doing when Carmelina and I first got together. I tried doing her hair at home once, and it was, I think it took 4.5, almost 5 hours to do
What would it normally take at the salon?
Like hour and a half, maybe. But she just has so much hair. And like, I didn't realize the convenience of having the hydraulic chair. Like I didn't have the full appreciation. So,
right.
I'm sitting there and I'm trying to turn her around. Well, the chair doesn't swivel. I'm trying to pump her up and I'm doing one of these things where I'm going a step and I'm missing because I'm not even thinking about it.
Chair that has no pump.
There's no pump. And I'm like, I'm falling over on myself, right?
Right. You're used to just stepping on that thing.
So used to it. I'm turning her head like this. There's no light. I'm turning her head like this. She's like, ow, my neck. She's complaining. I'm saying, shut up. I'm getting angry. She's getting frustrated. It just, the whole thing. So then I'm thinking about this. Where the crap did this come from? Well, I don't know. Growing up, that's just what we did. My grandma, she used to cut everybody's hair in the freaking kitchen because she lived in the kitchen. Like, I didn't know my grandma had a bedroom growing up. I just thought she existed in the kitchen and like that was it, It was the only room she was ever. There was a TV in there. There was a bathroom in there. There was the food was in there. The discipline room was in there. You got your butt beat in there. Like everything was in. There was even a door to get to the yard out from the kitchen. There was like a side door to the house in the kitchen. So I don't know. I remember growing up in the kitchen. So everything was done in there. Listening, going with girls over the years, some of them had kids or some of them had, unfortunate situations. Having friends, that some of them, they were in the ghetto, and they're just, you don't go outside, at night, or you don't go outside at certain hours. It just, the environment that they were in. So everybody just stayed home. And it wasn't even a matter of convenience. It was a matter of necessity. So there are some people watching this that are screaming at us, or screaming at their phones, whatever tablet they're watching it on, and saying, I don't have a choice. Well, why don't you have a choice? Why do you think you don't have a choice, right? Some people are like, I have a young kid, so I have to be home all the time. I can't take my kid with me to work.
Well, COVID changed a lot of things too. My wife and I were my wife ran, I know a lot of you guys know, my wife ran and she's in a runoff now for the local school board. And so she's trying to be a school board member locally. And in this runoff, people are inviting her to fundraisers and different things. And we end up at this one fundraiser, and I'm sitting next to, I didn't know the guy was a doctor at the time. And so he's talking to me, and his wife goes to get food. And he said, hey, you want to make fun of my wife? I know you're in the hair business. He said, she is not a hairdresser, but in COVID, I couldn't get a haircut, and I couldn't go to the office with the way my hair was looking. So she started cutting my hair. She watched some YouTube videos and she figured it out. I said, and he goes, and she's still cutting it now because she just got so good at it. And I looked and I thought, actually looks pretty good. I mean, for somebody, I was a little embarrassed. I'm like, it shouldn't be that easy for somebody to figure out how to cut hair, But I thought, you know what? There's a change in our world. COVID put a lot of hairdressers out of work and couldn't cut hair for a few months. And a lot of people just had long hair at home, and they could do it. But some people, like a doctor, he was essential, I guess. He had to go to work, and he didn't want to. He is a children's doctor, so I guess he didn't want to scare the kids. He wanted to keep his hair looking nice and neat, or scare the moms. So his wife figured out how to make his hair look neat and cut his hair. And so I thought, wow, I bet a lot of people are still, like you're saying, getting their haircut at home by somebody because they got into that habit.
They got into that habit
to save money, or through COVID to get it done and save money. And now people are slow to get back to the way things might have used to have been. So listen, one time I was cutting this attorney's hair, and I remember his name was Bill, and it was something, I think somebody shorted me out of some money or something one time, and I was a little frustrated, and I'm asking him, if I were to sue this person and try to get the money, is this something you could do, like on the side, if I paid you separately from your firm? And he smiled. And listen, I'm young, I'm dumb, I don't realize what I'm asking. I'm just learning the ways of the world. I'd be so mad if somebody asked one of my hairdressers to do something on the side and just screw me, the salon owner. But at the time, I'm not thinking of the full picture. I'm just thinking of my narrow little self-serving world. And he smiles, and he's a little older, and he said, I would never do that, and I can't. And he says, I will help you, though. And I said, what do you mean? He said, so as an attorney, and this spoke volumes to me about professionalism in the future for how I ran my business. He said, well, as an attorney, I sign a paper that says I am a partner with contract. I'm a partner to the firm. It doesn't matter when I collect money or how. It all gets seen by the government. It gets, and I guess attorneys, if there's money exchange, unless it's cash, the firm is going to see it, and I have to share my percentage. I work for and with the firm. We all work together. We all share in the expenses and the profits. And I thought, what a very high-end professional way to look at this. So from then on, I shared that with my stylist. I'm like, you know what, guys? It doesn't matter if you do hair here or at home. First of all, I don't think you should do hair at home. I'm of the opinion you need the shampoo bowl, the professionalism, the hydraulic chair, the lighting, like you talk about, the help of a salon coordinator or receptionist to book it, charge them. Why would you want to work unprofessionally and under harder conditions at home? But when you do, like a wedding, you get called out for a wedding, that's sort of like going and working on set, and you lack a lot. You usually charge more for it, and it gets booked through the salon. I had hairdressers that would try to book weddings on their own and try to go collect the money on their own separate from us, the firm. And I said, okay, so you're missing days of work, though, where you could have made money for us. So it's just wrong on so many levels. You're either a part of the team or you're not. in my opinion. And so if you're going to do hair away from the business, you shouldn't be discounting it anyway, because it should be part of the whole. Unless you're a renter and everything you do is all on your own, then you're in on your own little island anyway. But if you're in a salary-based, commission-based salon and you're working with or for the team, nothing should be done in secret anyway. And so if you're going to go home and do hair for Thanksgiving, think about that. You're doing it for the whole team. Maybe that'll help you realize, like, well, you know what it does? It gives you an excuse too. You're like, I can't really do it on my own because I'm part of a whole salon group. And if I do it at home, here's the prices, show them the prices. This is the prices, and here's our traveling price list. And blame it on the owner. Blame it on the salon manager. They said, I can't do hair at home. You guys have to come in. They're like, what do you mean you can't? Well, I'll get fired. I can't do hair outside of work. Or if I do, this is how it works. And I'll have to charge you through this Square account or whatever. And I mean, some people don't have the, I don't know, the strength to tell other people that they don't want to do it. And so that's when you have to maybe,
how you call that, the people pleaser personality, right?
Yeah, right. And that's most hairdressers, I'd say. And so you could blame it on the owner, the manager, the professionalism of the salon. It makes us look bad. We as a team decided not to do it, or if we do, we have to charge. But come up with that whole story ahead of time, or just go to Thanksgiving and cut hair all day and work your butt off and be happy about it, and don't complain on the forum
about it. You know, another thing I want to say, I learned this a long time ago too when I first opened my shop. People get their hair done at home for whatever reason, right? And they think they can't afford to come to the salon to get proper services. Work with, or at least I don't know why people are afraid of rejection. Somebody, you ask somebody for something, and what are they going to say? No. Okay, so what? Then they said no. Big deal. And what do I mean by that is, when I had my salon, I was always looking for models because I was always testing new techniques or new hair colors that I thought in my mind. Wasn't sure if they were going to work out or not. But every week, we'd always have some madam come in that was willing to let us test something on her, and she was a guinea pig, So, and then whether it was a new stylist, I was teaching them how to cut hair or color hair, or whether I had some crazy idea driving down the highway looking at construction, and I want to try some new color. Like it was always something. So it can be done with a little bit of hustle. It can be done. You don't have to get your hair done at home. The other thing about it is, make sure we're understanding. We're talking about off the clock, like you said it perfectly, on the side, off the clock. We're not talking about, there are some people, they have a whole setup built in their home, no different than a studio. That's right. Not what we're talking about here. We're talking about, I just put in a 10-hour day, a 12-hour day, and now I got to go over to mom's house.
Right.
Or like you're saying, on my only day off, I
Maybe
had
that's the only one you should be doing is your mom at home. Come on, guy.
Well, I do it, but it's hilarious. I do it because look, when I go to do my mother-in-law's hair, it's an entire event. But here's the flip side of it. I know I'm going over there and I'm going to get like a lasagna dinner, or she's going to make steak or lamb chop. Like it's a whole thing. And you don't think she would have cooked
for you anyway?
No. It's different. I'm justifying it. Okay. Don't you bring your witchcraft logic into my argument over here.
Just like the rest of the hairdressers out there.
Okay. No, I'm getting an extra piece of whatever I would have normally got because I can't get seconds. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But
I just feel like, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, like the thing is, we never get home before midnight. Like if we just go there for weekly dinner like we normally go, we would be back by 9, 8, 9 o'clock, whatever it is, right? We'd only be in and out for like 2-3 hours. Yeah. But then when we go there to do our hair, we're there for 7 hours, 8 hours. Like it's a whole full-time shift. It's a full day shift going to hang out.
Yeah. And you're younger than me. I guess you can still handle it. But Yeah, do I just
I like spending time with them. I don't know.
and God bless you. Yeah, me too. You see, spending time and working time is different. Yeah, I would like spending time with friends and family also. But what your wife's gonna watch this and be like, I thought you liked doing my parents' hair. What are they doing different for you? Like, do they let you marry their daughter because you agreed to do their hair for free and on
Oh
holidays?
yeah, they saw the potential. That's the only reason. That's all I had to bring to the table.
Yeah, that's a good dowry. Right. So if you didn't do their hair, would they still sit there and talk to you and like you? Probably so. And maybe doing their hair is a bit of showing off. Look what I got. Look what I can do. I can serve you better than any other man she probably ever brought home before. Wow, we love you. You love all that praise. Obviously, we all do. I know what's going on here. I'm just saying, you, Eddie, can also be freed of this trap. You
Oh my
can. They
god.
will still accept you. They're not gonna like be like, Carmelina, you need to dump this dude. He stopped doing our hair. And they're not gonna stop inviting you to dinner. You are the same as all the other hairdressers out there. Because what more? I might I am not it's great that you give.
Okay,
But
but hold on.
is there a certain time when you're giving more than you're receiving? Is there a such thing
You
as
maybe
fair?
because then what happens if I stop doing and now I go over there and they're like, "Look, I just went and got my hair done. Not by you, by the way. Look, I
Schedule it. Schedule it when you work during your days and hours.
they
You
don't
should
have
schedule it.
time. My salon is too far for them to drive to, okay?
Oh,
All
that's
right. Right?
oh.
And the privilege of knowing me, why should they have to drive to come to me when I'm already coming over to them anyways? What's the difference? I'm already there.
Right. Yeah, right. Did they pay you?
In love and in food and in hugs.
I'm glad we got to the bottom of this. That you are the same sucker as most hairdressers, because you know the few times I'm so against it that I can remember the times in my life where I've heard really good ideas. There was a salon owner one time, Sandra was her name, and what she did was once every 6 weeks she opened her salon on a Sunday for family, and she said, guys, I don't do hair at home. I'm not coming to your parties, your birthday parties, dinners for lasagna. I'm not doing hair for lasagna. I'm doing hair on Sundays every 6 weeks for the whole family. Lucky for her, there was like two other family members that were hairdressers, and she invited them also. She said, "Let's do the whole family's hair. Bring food. We'll order food in. The salon's going to be like a little bit of a family get together, a family reunion." But she stored up these points. So she would use this whole group. She would say, guys, this is me giving back to the family. When I need something, I'll call. So she was a little bit of a mafia boss here. She's like, I need the whole salon painted. Everybody show up on a different Sunday. So everybody would come and paint. Or she needed construction done. She needed plumbing and AC put in. Somebody in the family did these things. So she used this like a bartering system. I don't mind doing it, but I need to get back. And I'm afraid people like you get just taken advantage of. I'm sure when you call and ask them for something, they're more apt to say yes because you give. But I'm pretty sure you give more to all your friends than you get. And that's all I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
just
because my friends suck. I know. And all of yous watching this, y'all suck. Why are we still friends?
who's picking these friends? That's my point. So
I
you've
don't
got
know.
to just make sure that you're not getting taken advantage of in life.
No.
That's all I'm
I
worried
understand
about.
what you're saying. The other thing about it is, look, obviously I'm doing what I'm doing, and we all do what we do, right?
Right.
But you got to think about this though. Is it really from here's the flip side to all of that. And I don't know how I ended up on the side for doing hair at home because I am still against doing hair at home
Doing it, so
myself.
you better defend it.
I
You're
but
doing it.
But here is the issue though, because every time on the drive home, I always tell Carmelina, it always happens
Why
at a
am I
red light.
crying?
Yeah, why am I crying, right? No, always at a red light I start thinking about, I missed the spot behind the ear. I couldn't get over there. I couldn't bend enough. Like I couldn't do my contortionist move enough, or that angle is probably off. I couldn't see a damn thing. It was way too dark, because it's always at night. It's always at the end of the day at night. The sun is down, the vampires are out. Like it's insane. So are you really putting forth your best work? Because your family members are out there saying,
it's free. They don't care.
Yeah, well, they're bragging, but they're bragging. They're saying my son-in-law did my hair for me because he's so awesome. My friend does my hair for me because she's so awesome or stuff. But then other people got to look at that person and say, you look like crap.
No, your bad work is probably better than most people's good work.
But still, like, is it my best? Is it my best each time, every time I touch somebody's head, though?
Every single time you do anybody's hair, no matter what they pay, you think later, I could have did that better.
As you should. It's a respect, because you agreed.
I agree.
Whether you're doing it where you want to, where you don't want to, whether you're doing it for money or not, you're agreeing to do something to somebody. You're exchanging your honor. Like, your word is your bond, is the old saying, yeah? So if you're putting your honor out there to do something to somebody that you agreed to, at the end of the day, you better put that 100% out there. Don't half-ass it because you think so. Oh, well, I just came to her house. That's good enough. Oh, well, it's for free. It's good enough. There is no such a thing as good enough. Then just say no and don't do it.
You can't do that. You better end this before you start crying. Because I know you're...
Look, once again, in the comments, I don't want to hear, that I have a whole setup in my house. That's not who we're talking to. We're talking to,
That's a real business.
No, that's a real business. That's different. We're talking about like this. You already work in a salon, or you already have a studio set up, or you already are a professional in some degree, and yet you get suckered into doing somebody's, on the side while you just happen to be coming over.
No.
All right. Well, enjoy your Thanksgiving, everybody. Eat a lot of turkey, pass out, wake up, have
Hey, does anybody
dessert.
know what a capon is? My wife cooks a capon for Thanksgiving. Tell us what a capon is down below.
All right.